7 for Nicola Bulley. You might have seen the impromptu interlude, and I will continue to do these. I wanted to do this because actually part 6, I took a couple of days from the time that I said I will let it, I will do it and release it. There's a card that really hurts, and I'm going to show it to you, and it's because it's what I've been feeling for a very long time. So this is going to be more or less, I'm going to try and just, I'm an intuitive channeler, and I'm using tarot just as helping you, but also maybe confirming some of the messages or imagery for me. And I've been allowing that to take the forefront and take you on a journey with me. Every single card that I've pulled, you've seen. Apart from in part 6, I said that I'd pulled some card earlier on the partner, and I didn't release that. But from, I think it's part 4, when I pulled the cards, I knew that something was confirmed to me about her death and what I'd been seeing. This is going to probably be a bit all over the place, and I hope it's not going to be, maybe it's a bit an element of my perfectionism of, am I channeling and giving you the message precisely, yet I have to be responsible. So the first thing that I want to say is, when I'm talking about places, environments, things, I'm happy to say 100%, 101%, I know this. I get this, with a tarot or not a tarot. When it's to do with souls or to do with people and things that are not large consequences to me, but consequences as tarnishing someone's name, accusing someone, I'm not so relaxed with that. And that's why you might find I'm a conservative reader, and I will not be for everyone. If someone came to me for a reading and said, I need to know if X person this, I will give it to you 100%. But right now I'm on YouTube, and I have to be sensitive, and I have to also, if I ask Nicola, I have to respect the information she wants to give me, even if I feel like the missing piece is this, right? In the last reading, for example, we got this as one of the cards, where it was, I said, any more messages, if you haven't seen the last reading, please see it. I might be actually putting that private on and off for the similar reasons that I don't like to go into characters. At the same time, I remember it's justice for Nicola. And this says, be still, allow the enemy to reveal themselves. It came up in Maddie's reading. And Maddie's energy that I'm going to reconnect with is going to be, follow it if you're not so far, follow. I've got one part to upload, but then after that I'm probably going to do a summary like now and dive into a bit more. I got a message on my part 6 from someone, and I removed it because I don't want to get into a back and forth. People think that if you subscribe to the channel that you're paying me a salary or something. You're not. If you wish to subscribe, I give you the utmost respect and love, and the content you want, I'm happy to hear of. Ultimately, my clients and then my subscribers, followers, mean a lot if you're of the light. But I'm not going to take anything negative, because I'm not here as a tarot reader And this is not directed to anyone listening. It's directed just to let you know I'm not here for juicy gossip. I'm not here. There's a reason Spirit has asked me to look into these two cases very strongly. I mean, like, what is going to bring Maddie to my attention after so many years? But something links with these two energies, and I wanted to say it in Maddie. I feel like Nicola, towards the end of last year, had felt quite let down by a lot of people. And I said in the beginning about her, kind of weighing up about, should I take a move? Should I not take a move? Am I being selfish? Am I too giving, etc.? And I think that would have definitely increased if she lived, because in terms of astrology, her planetary alignments, I couldn't get her, obviously, time of birth. There's a strong focus on whether individuality or love, giving to others. And her natural ability, I can't remember her north and the opposite of each other, but I think, where is it? Oh, it's in my other folder, but I think her natural, I've got it written. Yeah, it might be Libra, which means that what comes to her naturally is giving to others. So what she had to learn was individuality and understanding herself. And I said this right in the beginning of the reading, and honestly, I was like, where am I going with this? Because I can presume that a lot of you have seen a lot of tarot readers, and you're probably like, it's not the same. So I'm not going to accept anyone saying that I'm doing this for gossip for the channel, or I'm not going to subscribe, or I've forwarded the video onto the family. I've respected the family. I've respected everyone that's involved. I've not pointed any fingers. But you're going to see in this one where I point fingers. And you're going to see that it's 100, 200, 1000% in terms of places or certain things. And that's before I'll do a reading on them. I do want us to dive into a way that maybe certain clues can be done, but that would have to come from people that are open to it. And unfortunately, it seems like if you are from that village, if you're around that area and you're open to it, please do follow. Please do let us know, because we need people from that area that can maybe check on something if you're wishing to, if you're part of the Justice for Nicola. Like I said, this is about healing for her. She wasn't happy, and she's not been happy about how she's been tarnished, and that the truth is not out there. So this came up, and it was really like, you know what, you don't need any more to your answer. You know it intuitively, you know what you're channeling, and there's going to be a crack. So I'm going to try and remember everything, but if I don't, it's because I've got also notes, and also I want to dive into making sure that what I've been channeling is really clear for you. I also want to say that I haven't fully channeled Nicola because I respect her healing process. But I do, I'll ask her a question, and if she brings it forward, I know she's with me, or I'll feel her presence. You can probably tell from the cards when I say Nicola's with me, how the cards are, or what I'll ask her. I still get there's a strong motive. Let's just pull some cards on this. just asked for the motive, but it's Nicola. I know this is Nicola telling me what happened. Exactly what I know. But I'll pull more cards. This Knight of Wands comes out regular, and I've said about it. I've also said about someone with chestnut, brown hair, could be male or female, was involved, okay? It's very difficult to see them because they were covered, and I think they had something on their head. These are actually cards of what I want to say when I talk about her death. They've come out exactly how I want to, what I want to say. Bear with me, guys. Hold my bag because I'm going in. King of Pentacles. Then I said that I would pull more cards, and I have done. 1 second while I look for something. I'm checking the imagery of something. So the first 6 cards I pulled are around the whole story of her death, okay? Which is the Knight of Wands, the fast action that came with towards her. Being bound. I think a lot of people might be saying there's 2 energies. I feel that there's 2 energies and there's a third. And I think it's a female. I think there's an older female. I think there's a male involved, and then there's another male as well. 5 of Cups is the loss, the grief. It's disappointment, okay? It's being at loss and at grief. Completion of her chapter. The hidden truth of her chapter. This is beautiful because I was going to do a short about these 2. Actually, look out for it if I remember about the 2 dogs, okay? Taking the driver's seat, moving forward. Okay. Then I pulled out the Knight of Pentacles. This is more of a slow energy, okay? The teamwork, 3 people. This King of Pentacles, I really want to nail, but I think I know. I'm going to ask for clarification on that. The Devil. Some people take it as the Death card. For me, it's the attachment, the obsession. And the Queen of Pentacles came out in reverse, which told me it's, you know, all of that is money, money. Money, money, teamwork on money. And this person is in every part of it. This is helicopter parenting. What's that mean? Why am I getting that word, helicopter parenting? It's materialism. It's actually more like stressed about your money, not an abundant mindset. The Devil is causing that. It's the addiction, it's the attachment, it's keeping you bound to it. Which makes sense if we think about it, or if what I think the reason is. I mentioned, just as a side note, in my part 6 about RF. I don't know if you know average age, is it 30s, 40s? I'm thinking these people, I really feel that there's an older male, or it's a boss. I've said this from the beginning, but Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Use your own discernment and research. This is just for entertainment purposes only. And everyone is innocent till proven guilty. This is for entertainment purposes only. Anyone who comments that I'm doing it for toxic reasons is going to, whatever. You don't understand when you come from a place of truth how energy draining it is to not only channel but deliver such messages when you're dealing with spirit and you're coming from a genuine, authentic place. It's not easy. Like I said, it took me 2-3 days and I still feel it in my gut. There's a card that came up and I was like, yeeks. And it really made me feel sad with everything else that I've said, tying it up. The reason this is so complex is because her relationship was crumbling. Nicola had been thinking about this for quite some time, but then she took a decision. So it might have felt sudden, but actually she was weighing things up in quite some time. And I feel she was weighing things up in terms of, can I be self-reliant? And I know people probably saying that it was actually the partner that was broke and skint and etc. But still, if you're a mother, you're going to go through, can I be self-sufficient? Can I maintain maybe a lifestyle, or what do I need to do? You sit and weigh a lot of things up. This says a lot. This energy, this is a person who I said I want to pinpoint. I said I wouldn't clarify, but let's clarify King of Pentacles, please. 4 cards. Show me Emperor if it is. 4 cards. Show me Emperor. King of Pentacles is, I mentioned, I think I wanted to really know the energy, but I'm going to leave it there. I think the King of Pentacles is the person that did what they were asked to do. And it comes up in every reading. It's an energy that comes up in every reading. So does the Knight of Wands. I feel like there was an older female, there's a male. And there is another male as well in the background, and you might be able to sort of know who is who. I just want to put this energy. I said I need to pin it down because I felt it. I also mentioned, and so I think this energy is actually who eventually did putting in the river, involved in it, needing to ground, the energy of needing to stay grounded, be patient on something, heartbreak, loss and grief. I'm going to put these there for a minute, okay? Now, if that came out with the King of Swords, I'd say it's possibly the similar energy. The King of Pentacles will come out in another question. I guarantee you that. It doesn't mean that it's that person. It's more of the meaning around the monies of it. Okay, and I'll elaborate that. I don't know if I just mentioned in terms of RF, their age. I think I did. Also, I don't know if some of the parents, people actually know someone in the law enforcement, or this person in law enforcement quite high up knows it's not making sense. And by the way, the law enforcement might have something but they're not able to tie it up. And now that it's been asked to be closed off as an accident, they can't really do anything. It wasn't the police that were asked to go back to the river. I think it was the coroner that asked for the sent to the river again or something like that. Right. I do want to say something, and please, Nicola didn't die on the 27th of January. I don't feel that. I don't get it. I cannot see her in the river, even if it was an accident. It wasn't an accident. I cannot see her in the river. I see her in a building. And I can see the building. I don't know if it's the abandoned building. Because after that, I've been told there's an abandoned church. There's an abandoned shed. But if it's like a building... so for me, I just know it based upon abandoned building. She was taken to abandoned building, and she was in that abandoned building, and she did not die on the 27th. Now I just... Okay, so when I pulled the card, then I was asking if I can say what I want to say, and I got no, maybe, maybe, and now I just got yes as justice, with it being justice as well. I think there's a high likely possibility that Nicola was alive until the 6th of Feb. From the 6th of Feb onwards, possibly as well, but I've not tapped into it and tuned into it, so I don't want to state that. I don't like stating those things. Well, Nicola did not die on the 27th of the 1st, and if you go back to my readings, you'll also find there was no death in when I asked what happened on the 27th. She was not in the water, and this is why they could not find her in the water. And so the body decomposition is no way of what I stated. It would show that someone was in the water for that long amount of time. Now, I mentioned how she was kept. I mentioned in my last reading the word decombobulated. That's come out totally wrong. Came up. So was she given something? Or was that given something was actually decombobulated? Decombobulated, yes. Was she given something prior at some stage? Because apparently there was a statement by someone, and when I say someone, you'll know who. If you don't know who, then it's someone, that she wasn't doing too well when there was a call, when they received a call on the 27th of the 11th. There was a lot of fire energy in the readings. This Knight of Wands is fast action moving forward. I think she was taken by surprise by it. And I feel, like I said, there was a big silencing. That's probably when she was taken. And she was definitely taken to a building. And I feel she could have been moved from one to another. The problem when you're reading energy is that if the energies involved also went to... Give you an example. I recently heard that the interviews were held within Marsh Hall Farm. Okay. So I could read on that and I could get that. Or I could get that in my psyche as a relevant place. I got some of the words, and the most recent sign I got was like an old-fashioned wired red box telephone, you know, when you press it wired here and there's a spiral and you hold it like that. That is significant in some way. I got some dates, and remember I got from the beginning about the fake fish, the fisherman, something fake about that, not showing true colors, hidden truths. And so questions need to be very specific, or I need to step away and listen to my psyche again and come back with signs. And this is what I'm doing right now, is just chatting you through what I've gathered to make sure what I've given you in terms of tarot, which every tarot that I've pulled you've seen, and they've been very different. I haven't had to even come back to question my own questioning or the answers I've got. It's been quite different. So I don't know if someone knows someone in, maybe not high ranking, but knows someone, whatever, someone in a high ranking knows something. I'm not saying that they know it was murder, but they know that there wasn't a drowning. And it could be to do with a sign or a name that I've already mentioned. Okay. I think Nicola was alive until about the 6th of Feb. After that, I would need to tune into my psyche to give you exact dates, but definitely I feel until the 6th, but I just like to be conservative on something like that. So I just want to put it out there. 27th, she was not dead. And the decomposition of the body would not have shown it. Someone, this King of Pentacles, I think relates to a boss energy. I'm not talking direct reporting. I'm talking about a high level boss, like the ultimate boss. And this, okay, so there's two energies. With the King of Pentacles here is someone that got involved to do the cover-up. Okay, to do the cover-up, maybe like when we needed to dispose of the body. But there's also, I mentioned from reading one, there's something fishy about money. And there's two elements here, and then there's breakdown of relationship, the direction she was going in, and also energies involved. I mentioned that there's an energy of someone that could have been around her, that could have been of compassionate, or from her work, maybe a little bit of flirting, but it wasn't anything of a third party. I think it was more comfort. I think she confided in that person. I also think there's two females she kind of confided in on what was happening, maybe what she was thinking. But a lot of what she was thinking for a long time, she kept to herself. This whole turmoil is because she found something out. She found something out. It's to do with money. It's to do with assets. It's something fishy. And like I said, there's things on the relationship side and there's things on the work side. There is some element of also a deal that maybe she came to with someone. I don't know if it's someone in her close circle, a relative of someone she knows is relative of someone. That I think maybe she found something out there, or she had to pull back on a contract or an agreement or something like that, and that caused a bit of friction. And the other thing is either she found out something dodgy, which I think she might have had an inkling for some time around an asset, around money, that would put someone else in a position of a vulnerability, a position of loss, or would put them in a position where if this person, Nicola, what she found out, exposes something like this or moves away from this, she can not only take it, but she can get, let's say an example, my credit score might be affected, there might be a legal implication, there might be like an investigation around fishy money, anti-money laundering, something like that, okay? So now think what the motive is going to be. If someone wants to decide they're moving away, or if someone says, I need to do something about this, I need to move away. I said about the CCTV on that morning, I felt her energy is a bit angry, and I do think so as well, because if you look at the CCTV in terms of when her partner opens the front door, but apparently he doesn't get in because he loads the car. I'm going based upon what is said in interviews and what is being like 2-minute clips that I get seen. So you load the car, usually you probably say goodbye, but you wouldn't. I felt like that opening of the door was to say something back from an argument they had. I also feel like there might have been a bit of something brewing or a plan being made on the 26th. And it might be that she was also watched on the 26th. I really hope I'm being clear with what I want to say. With the Wheel of Fortune we're getting as well, she realized for a change to happen in her life, she needed to move forward. She needed to take this action. Then we had the energy of probably a few people, but the King of Swords, there's an energy of masking emotions and staying in control, knowing that you need to stay in control. Like I said, I think there was some jealousy around her, possibly that she had it all together, when in fact it could have been very different. And this is where I say, check on those that seem to have it all together. Check on those that, you know, you go through those stages in life. Never mind about when you find something large that could have a large implication, like even legal, even something like that. And I think they did have an asset. Did they have an asset together, or a company or something like that? There was something dodgy she found out, more than, I know some people saying she found out he was cheating, and this is money. Maybe in the past he cheated, whatever. I've not got into that. I don't want to get into that. I want to stay on this. And I believe her body was moved to a building, if not also moved to another building. And also that building where, you know, they did interviews as well, possibly. But there was an abandoned building she was in. Whether she was decombobulated, given something to be confused that morning, or when she was seen, the attempt was to do that, and or even being given that, so she's easily taken without a big, but apparently there were 2 screams that were ignored. How she was kept until around the 6th of Feb, and then after, it could be that a bit more, by the way, but the problem is when souls are, it could even be 6th evening, when souls are, even as they're departing and there's resistance, you might not feel that they've passed fully yet. I have not tapped into it. I'm telling you what I'm getting. And I'm going to come to the Star card because that's the one that really hurts me. The red phone, I believe, is significant. Something about a phone. I really believe, I mentioned it, that her mobile phone would have had something that would have led them into what happened. It could be like a message, a dodgy text, something that could lead to certain people, etc. There's going to be like, there's a communication, whether it's a post they find, a letter they find, something to do with the telephone that they find, and they could have easily found prior. I mentioned in the first part about Sophie, which is the energy of a girl, her daughter being called Sophia apparently. I feel like she's really trying to speak to her. Obviously she's a small girl, I think they're 6 and 9, and I presume Sophia might be the elder. I feel like Sophia might have something, but she doesn't know. Like, do you know when you might find a bit of paper and you don't know that it's relevant to something, or something like that? And I'll get into 3 cards that I pulled. Again, I feel like she was betrayed a lot by the world, people around her. And that could be, I want to give people their part as well. That could be because maybe she only confided in, I get 2 females, I definitely get this male. And I hope the people that knew what was going on, whether it's people she confided in terms of moving forward, or anyone that knew her state, did not take advantage of her vulnerability. So, did so-and-so find out that this she'd confided in this person, not fully, but felt there was something she was closer to this person, so they arranged that this person turns up, and then it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to see what you're doing, I'm going to take you from here, blah, blah, blah. Try to put that together. But it is around money, and I think if they do a financial audit, they will see. And this is also why I believe I'm going to say relatives, but think of immediate, word beginning with F. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please use your discernment, research. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. This is for entertainment purposes only. Maybe don't know fully, but it's kind of like right now we've lost our spouse, our partner, our daughter, our sister, our brother, whatever. But it's Nicola, so we know it's his sister or whatever it is. I don't want to tie it in directly, but please understand what I'm trying to say. And there's been talk that this was found out, this could be it, this is this. But it's not exactly known to be possibly, what is the word? That she was killed, is it manslaughter? Whatever, okay. That someone has done this, let's say that. And so what you do when you find there's something fishy, okay, depending also who knows and who was kind of involved, you might have to protect who's alive, maybe for the girls, maybe also taking the insurance for the girls. Thinking a 9-year partnership means even if that partner gets it all, it's going to go to the girls. And so in this event, there could be legal implications against certain parties that would mean an additional loss in a certain way, as well as the loss of the monies and the continuity of what's going on. And so mark it as an accident. Initially as well, I think you're in a vulnerable state, so you're listening to people who are stating that don't know the full story, know a little bit. And maybe they might decide after the insurance is paid out, although maybe it's not their motive, it's someone's motive, obviously. That they try to come forward. I can tell you one energy that I've asked on in the last reading, okay, that I think knows a little bit, and might be an energy that just needed to fled the scene because of what happened and panicked, and maybe that person had a confrontation with Nicola initially before what happened, but then saw or heard something, and so fled quickly to an appointment. Like I said, I really get there's a female. But that female that I asked of separately in the past one, that I think a lot of people are saying are guilty, is in angst of coming forward. Her energy is, do I come forward? Do I say something? There's something about this red telephone, it's come into my head. And you know, I was getting the tennis ball and the lead. They were key things, like where the hell is the bloody lead? That is actually so minor, but if it's a setup, it was something that the setup had forgotten. I also get throughout, at the beginning, I used to get like Nicola saying, look what they did to my body. I think, did she take pride in looking after herself? Like, not where she was doing cosmetic surgery and lip fillers and stuff. I just mean like looking after her health, wanting to look great, wanting to look, looking after her body. I get, she would say like, look at what they've done to my body, my poor body. And all with that I could see was a floating body with the head down. But apart from that, I cannot see her in the river. I can't see her body in water. And even that scene of the body floating in the river is because obviously she was found in the river, but also I do get, look at what they did to my body. So I hope someone didn't try to take more advantage of her vulnerability. She did confide in someone, like I said, but it wasn't a relationship. Sort of sounding board, compassion. Because she hadn't really told anyone and she'd emotionally checked out. Look. She'd emotionally checked out, and maybe that's also the energy that I think she might have been wanting to meet around those days as well. You know, she'd taken a decision, maybe she wanted some reassurance of sounding board on that. Like I said, she'd been thinking about things for a long time, but when she found out something bigger, she felt it was something like it might seem like a sudden decision, but there was crumbling along the way, and the person she would have had crumblings with, the relationship, would have known. The Eight of Cups we've had in the reading is also emotionally checked out, wanting to walk away. There's also like a bit of self-doubt there, but I need to just walk away. I can't take it anymore. I need to walk away, but there's that big thing that she's found out. And there's unfulfilled emotions. And we had the Lovers come in, and I said about it, when I asked about the energy in part 6, the first person, I said, I'll touch base on this. The Lovers came out. That's also about decisions and choices that you could make. And I just elaborated that she'd felt maybe let down, that something could have been said, looked into, listened to. She'd been thinking about, can she hold it? Probably thinking, can she do it with the two girls on a solo journey? I don't know if she was initially a freelance mortgage advisor, or thereafter. Well, she definitely decided to leave something and walk away. And at the same time, kind of realizing, I can't do it hasty. I need to try and be patient and do it one step at a time. I like her going back to the asset, the money, the thing that she found out, which would have large implications on the people that she found it out on. I'm going to be asking about any evidence that we can also find. There's a lot of, in the reading, there's a lot about being careful about deception, being careful about hidden truths that she needed to be careful of. I think I mentioned it. And there was a lot of questioning maybe around her image, her age, her beliefs, and not maybe, do you know when you go through one of those things and you're changing and you're kind of like, I don't want to follow this rule or how I should be or how I should do or what I should do. Things were no longer aligned for her in so many ways. And then with large things that were found out, that she found out, she obviously longed for a perfect partnership. And it must have been a great partnership at the beginning. It must have been. You don't stay with someone for 9 years. But she had a lot of doubts as well as she was trying to make plans. Doubts of like looking at herself, the confidence. Is it the right thing? Am I being selfish? And like I said, I hope the people she confided in did not take advantage of her vulnerability. There was a lot of arguments and challenges, and I think at some stage she was kind of on autopilot, questioning her relationship or relationships, her home life, her personal life, and internally questioning where she is. We all go through it, by the way, because that's how we change and we elevate. The Tower, and then we've got the Temperance here and the Hangman. Knowing a situation, a relationship is crumbled, and now realizing there's no turning back from a decision that she has made. She was the type of person, she was a good person, and she seemed like she was the mum that had it all together. And everything was, an old way we say it is hunky-dory, but it wasn't. And those people, like a male and 2 females, I really feel that she confided in, maybe not all, but did confide in, kind of knew this. And that's why I said she's let down by a lot of people, because all these little things, it doesn't matter what you know, all these little things can lead to somewhere. No one's talking. This is what I knew from the beginning. No one's talking. A lot of people know little things. No one's talking. What was brought out was the alcohol. The welfare call, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, she had apparently a lot of drink, but the lady who was saying when she came to see her was not saying she was throwing things around, she was hitting people. It was like, yeah, she seemed that, and she seemed a bit confused, and she just said, I don't know why I'm having too much to drink. And after a bit, she said, my head hurts, I'm going to bed. Maybe that stage she knew something. I know she knew something at that stage, but maybe that's why she just wanted to step out. And maybe that's why she was drinking a bit more. She was like, how am I dealing with this? This is a large implication. If she stays even, Could be an implication if it's to do with fishy money that, you know, affects her reputation. And so there's an implication of a relationship, there's an implication of a work, an asset, whatever it is. Especially also if there's on a parallel side, an implication of a very high ranked, maybe owner or boss, or something you kind of know, but then there's also your relationship, but then there's also something fishy around an asset or monies. This was a deal, hand-in-hand deal. Someone got paid. An exchange of money was there. But I do want to say something. Maybe the outcome was not the original intention. Was there a money motive? Yes, but maybe she was taken and it was like, if you make this decision, you're not going to make this decision. If you make this decision, there's consequences, an element of control. Because I think she was being watched, but I think there was also like a control maybe in terms of finances and watching the finances as well. So a restriction on that side. And so it's like, you've made this decision. Are you sure you want someone grabs her by surprise. She's taken to the building and it's like, you've made this decision. Originally, it might be like she was given something to be decombobulated. It didn't work, or she didn't drink it, or whatever it is, right? Or maybe it took effect afterwards. Who doesn't know as well that she might have fainted from that in the time and then she was taken? But I really feel she was standing. I've given you the signs I felt on the body as well. And I feel like there's possibly two buildings where either a plan was made, but also her body might have been shifted. I don't get in water. I don't understand, and maybe you can tell me, were the buildings and the places actually searched, or was it just all around water? And I think we don't know that truly. I think it's what we get given. And so what I mean is, like, you're there and you're being told, are you sure you want to make this decision? Because if you do, there's a choice, but there's no choice. And then the person realizes, even if there's a choice to stay quiet and stay, like she chooses to stay quiet and stay, this has happened now. And so it's an additional thing. Apart from what else she knows in general about whoever. And it could be related to a deal between the higher up and the partner. Like I said, there was also a deal that she'd done that maybe she retracted or something like that. But it's really, she could have walked away with not a lot, but do you know when someone has one on you, even though they're not going to necessarily use it? That puts you in a fear place. And maybe you don't want this person to go as well. So it's kind of like, you're here, you've got a choice. Are you going to go ahead with your decision? You said you wanted to leave or whatever you wanted to do. And maybe she just wanted to leave so that she didn't have to report something or say something, and also not be involved in something. Because I doubt that if little tiny fishy things were happening, she didn't catch on to it. But when it comes to larger, you do have to move out of it, otherwise you're going to be involved, especially if your name is on an asset or something. And then this is where maybe the mixed energies of accident come in. Shit, I have someone held here. I'm giving them a choice. Come home or whatever. we release this, you stay, or nothing is said as well, if it's to do with something dodgy, but you're staying. But then, is that really a choice? And then the person realizes, actually, whether she stays or she doesn't stay, and I think she was silenced. I don't feel she was in her, I don't feel she was there to answer even. And then there was an epiphany, like, okay, I've just done this. This is similar to maybe something that has a repercussion. It's an abduction, whoever did it. So is there a choice there? Is there a higher risk of actually, even if she chose to go back home, and I don't see her talking, see more like threats and passive aggressive, I don't know why I don't know if it's because it's in the movies, but I got like a hit. And I think I said about some hit in the stomach, didn't I, before? Something on her face though. And again, I touched my right side of my face. Right, I said in the beginning. So what am I trying to get to? You've got a choice, you don't have a choice. And then the person realized, actually, shit, this is even, we have to get rid of this and keep it as a stage missing person. Which means we probably need to call in some professional. And we need to dump the body on a quiet day where no one's looking. Remember, I need to tune into this even more, but that is possibly a scenario. And through that, there's money given. But other than that, it doesn't make sense that someone just wants to kill a spouse or a partner or someone just for insurance money. There's something held against certain individuals that could lead to implication. And she has, prior to it, she has an exchange with someone she knows, and it was a harsh exchange. Harsh words were given. It was cruel, you know. And this Queen of Swords needs to come forward and tell the truth. And it's the energy that I get, that they're in anxiety and stress to say what they know, what they've seen. There is an overwhelming amount of emotions in this. And this world card that comes off often is a full cycle. It's a life chapter, it's a full cycle, but there's hidden truths. And no one's going to tell me not. There's people that I think even if it's a small thing, like I said, there's 3 energies involved in this. And I think one of the males is younger. Now that doesn't help because I think the female might be a little bit older. One of the energies is younger. But I know her partner is younger by 1 year, but there is an energy younger. And I've asked about someone's date of birth as well. And people might be scared to come forward as well. That have like, this is not making sense. I mean, even the people she's confined in, have they actually told the police? Some things we won't know, but they need to come forward. There's hidden truth. Again, that telephone has come to my head. I'm not even talking about the telephone. There's something about a telephone. I wonder if there's something on a telephone, a voicemail. There's something about a red telephone. Maybe it's in that abandoned building. Maybe it's a clue. The chestnut, brown hair, male or female, was involved. I think there needs to be a financial audit on the different areas of her life, not necessarily on her, but as people saw her stable, things together, kind, energetic. Was she closer to her dad than her sister and mother? I get that. I get that her dad is most deeply affected. And I get she was closer to her dad. And when I say that, I get Sophie again. Sophie again. I think she's trying to talk through to Sophie. Sophie's really young. Sophie might have something. Sophie might have been told something. Now, if you remember the crystal that I pulled of a heart-based crystal, I think it was rhodochrosites, yes. I also then pulled a message for your daughters because I felt like the Empress kept coming through, which the lady that is involved in this is a mother. By the way, these two cards are very significant for reasoning. I got cards that I didn't make sense of. It was the Two of Coins, the Six of Coins, and the Justice card. Now, if you've noticed in this reading, apart from just now and telling you the Justice card, you've been in all my readings. Anything's never been hidden. I've not pulled cards to come to tell you anything or practice prior. And as channelers, mainly tarot readers, not channelers, because channel will channel the spirit. But if you're not channeling intuitively, and I channel intuitively, often they'll do card readings to try and piece some stuff together and then bring a card reading forward. Because if it's the right message, the same cards will come out. Where was I going? Hang on a second. Oh no, I forgot what I was saying. If this was live, you can probably remind me. Oh crap. Yeah, the cards for the daughters. So that's the only two times I've seen justice, and we can see no justice. No justice. I think this was done, and it was like, done, walk away. And I was surprised, you know, we got the Three of Swords, and it was only in the reading yesterday that I've ever got it, and it's only just come up now as well. And I feel like, you know, when it's tied in with this, if I go like this, the person who dumped the body, we got the Fool next, dumping the body, the new chapter, the death and the rebirth. This is Sagittarius energy. I told you there's a heavy Sag energy somewhere in the charts. This is actually, you know, this is somebody, I told you, patience, needing to be grounded, getting rid of the burden and the loss and the heartbreak and the grief also being then released. I wonder if I pull a card now, what will be the final card, Spirit, to end that thread. Two cards. The Hermit, the reflection, getting sort of reflecting inwardly, and the Sun card, the resolved of it. I don't know why I want to keep these cards out. But the Heartbreak card only came up now. And I can clarify it further. And in the reading yesterday for the partner, I mentioned yesterday one reading that I've done just before it was on the partner, and it never had the Heartbreak card. I've stayed very open in that reading as well. So I also wouldn't have I won't be surprised if she also felt a bit of turmoil in terms of spirituality, religion. Her head and heart was in turmoil, and I think I've said that. And like I said, she shared her feelings with a couple of females and a male about things. And I think if she was getting into an addiction, here, look, this also means addiction. But with the Queen of Pentacles, I think it's someone else's energy. About materialism, it's about, I really want to know what helicopter parenting is. Don't know why I get that word. But this is about self-absorption. This is about looking at being self-absorbed, being addicted, being smothering others, controlling. With the coins, it's controlling someone's money. I mentioned it, and you can tie it with the person or the energy I mentioned. Work and home imbalances, which we can see was happening. It's helicopter parenting when you're just like kind of pays excessive attention to children's every move and experience. Highly involved, overprotective. So I think that's what the energy of the person was around her, like heavily involved in her finances, control, etc. So although she was told in this place she had a choice, she didn't really have a choice. Her intuition was telling her she felt betrayed quite a bit. And I'm going to get to a card that really ate at me. I was counting, I was like, card 25 means something, justice. And that's, I don't know if you saw me smiling or if I did smile, but I felt I was smiling. Justice. I'm going to tap into justice, but there's a karmic cause and effect. Don't think you will get away with it. She was very much kept in her place in terms of her finances, I think. There was something there. And like I said, there was large implications, and that's why I think there's the energy to close it off and etc. But they're not fully aware of it. And as you can tell, I've given you a few people that are involved where there's something, the fake fish. I don't have an image of the higher up boss. I don't know if she did a deal with I wouldn't have been surprised, because at the beginning I was getting it, if she was even thinking to move town, you know, just totally move away. Totally move away. I can tell you through the cards that we got, there was, and this is why I feel like there was that thing in the building where I said there was choice, apparently choices, because there was a very highly stressed energy, anxiety that I feel around that time. And then there's the juggling and contemplating and action. And then after that, we kept getting the Six of Swords, which tells me in right, it's done, move away. And she was in danger for those days. She needed someone to come and find her There's no way those buildings were fully checked. I don't know how she was kept, but I don't see, there's days, like I said, I give you dates, there's days where she was alive, whether she was given something and dechloralized, or even by the time her body was dumped, it had gone out of her system. But she was in danger of days. And when I see this card, this is her. And this is what pissed me off about people that make comments. Give it up. Let her rest in peace. This was her. She's hanging on about a thread of hope. She's given a choice, but I can't see her talking in that choice. And that's why I think maybe there's an element to try and control what decision was being taken, but then it was kind of like, shit. Maybe this is two implications and a worse implication. What can I do? Contemplating. And that's where I think, that's really what I think. And as you can see, when I'm not talking about energies of humans, I'm talking about things. I'm talking about, you know, like Nicola coming through and voicing her. And sorry, I didn't elaborate the two of coins, 6 of coins, and the Justice card in terms of what I pulled for their daughters. I'll go to that in a moment. Massive failure, people. Massive failure. Let's just say failure from the law enforcement. What's the point? What is the point? It really, from the time I said I'm releasing part 6, and I saw this card come up again, and I knew that she wasn't dead in those days. She was hanging on a thread of hope, a bit of faith to be found, and she was in danger. I don't know if she was fed, what was happening. She was silenced as well. How, I've got to tune in on how she was kept. I'm telling you from now, she was alive for a few days, if not up until the date I said, maybe beyond then. I've not tapped into it. This is what's killed me, this. And now I don't even know her. Spirit has come through to me, and maybe she's come through to me. I've not been toxic in anything. I've given you the story I get. I've given you signs as well. A bench has been painted that looked like it needed painting 10, 15 years, has been painted, has a new image. Yet the river that a person died in is not fenced, is not, what can we say? The drop towards it is not, I don't know, landscaped, done something, gone further out, and then a drop where there's a fence near it. But the bench, and apparently that bench ties in with someone else's passing a while, like in memory of someone, maybe someone high ranking. You're telling me that no one knows someone and that bench has been painted? I can understand why it's been painted, because maybe you want, you know, give rest for people. Well, things like that don't happen just like that. Things like that don't happen just like that. I won't be surprised if there's an energy of someone who knows someone, and I get a name, but I'm not going to say it. But people need to know a financial audit needs to be done. A letter, something about a phone, something can be found. If Sophie is speaking, listen to her. Let down. We're not talking about someone who was pushed in the river, who fell in the river, died in the river, was trying to get help in the river. Talking about someone who was there, available to be helped for days. And this is what I've had to say. Now I want your I've kept this longer than normal. I don't like to keep them very long. I hope it's not too long. Be interested to see what you think about, like, do you prefer shorter, longer, whatever it is. I want to tap into justice next. The three cards I pulled for a daughter, I'm still trying to make sense, but what I think it says is juggle the decisions that you have, look after each other as the Two of Coins. But, and I don't know if this is what she's speaking into Sophie, pay someone to look into this and get justice. Whether evidence will be tarnished, whether there'll be little stuff, not sure. Then you get people saying, let her rest in peace. Yes, you need to de-anchor her. She needs to have a voice. She needs to have, she's going through healing. I haven't channeled her in a full length thing. You see how I tap in with some lighter questions. I tap in what she wants to say. Other than that, I'll tap in what I'm saying. You're sending the video to the family, and I just want to add one last thing. There were religions and backgrounds, and partially some of our faith, the background I come from, or the faith that seems to have grown, is that you bury the body as soon as possible so the soul can be de-anchored and rest. And that's also in many religions and faiths. And you try to pay off the karmic debts or debts of money of whatever the soul has so that they can rest. And if you study different religions and faiths, and it's in a lot of them. But there's some that's more strict, that needs to be done within 2 to 4 days if you can. Nicola wasn't from that background. And if this even happened to, let's say, a relative of mine, and I'm from that background, I ain't closing it. I ain't closing it. Until you let me make sense. And if it's an accident, happy that everything logically and in my discernment, not even in my channeling of intuition, is making sense. So that's what I wanted to tie up, and that's what I have about it. In the next one, happy to do your questions. I'll ask about certain places and energies. I think I've pinpointed 2 of them that I know. I think I need to ask about the justice, any signs and clues. And again, if you're watching these videos and you're liking them, I invite you to subscribe, follow, like, support the channel, because it gets out there. I know that people, whether you're investigators or in general, some people are just making random comments. And I think you've seen through my tarot readings when I've had spirit really come through to me, and I've had like really bad headaches, put off reading on it. You can tell that I've had spirit in my presence in some of my readings, persistently. And so I'm not one of those just tarot readers. Look out for an impromptu interlude, and I look forward to your comments. If I don't hop on the premiere live, because if I do, I tend to start connecting to the case, connecting to spirit again, and then I need to ground myself, and it'll be like 2, 3 in the morning and I'm still like awake, and then the next day I've got like clients, I've got work, etc. So everything is always in the description box, even what it's about, so please do pay attention to that. if you wish to donate to the work, it will help. It does help me. I'm happy to know what other content you'd like me to cover. Questions like, was Paul cheating with Emma? Was this? I don't know if I want to get into that. I really want to stay on a focus. But if you have a question, put it in the comment. If you're a subscriber, I'm going to take that up. I'll always answer you. And let's see if we can get somewhere with this. And you can always share it with people that are happily invested to try and get justice for Nicola. And that's my scenario on it. I think there's an element of, I've told you what I think happened, where there's an element of a plan. I've told you why I think it was closed off. I've told you where, not necessarily that it went wrong, but action needed to be taken, a decision needed to be made. And that doesn't come without heartbreak. Like I said, there's a female that knows a bit more than they're leading on to, and they need to come forward. The problem is that I don't know if people feel safe to, and that's the issue. And that's why when it's a larger community, like I said, it's a lot easier to come forward and be protected and listened to. You will follow and you will listen to tarot readers that you relate to, whether they're credible or not. I'm telling you, I'm very authentic, I'm genuine, I'm credible. If you're happy to move with the channel and move forward, subscribe and follow, I think you can tap into that. Like I said, it's these two energies, souls that I've been asked to voice by spirit. And yeah. But having said that, I look forward to your comments. If I don't hop on the premiere live, I might hop on and then hop off. Do leave. So sometimes if you put a comment or a question on live premiere, it won't be there in the comments as the live premiere ends. So just repeat it in the comment section as well. Like, share, subscribe. If you wish to donate, you can do. It's like buying me a coffee or something, whatever it is. But every single person who's shared a loving comment or appreciation, it's meant something. Those of you that have also kind of answered something, I'd love to know RF age. Yes. I'm looking at my bell. I think it needs ringing, but then what's the point? It's at the end of it. So I want you to get up and I want you to either put some music on. I want you to either make a brew, have a cookie, just break a bit of the energy, but we've got it out there. I've said what I've said, and I've done it without the tarot cards initially. The tarot that I pulled was actually just to take you on a journey, a little journey. But I like to channel intuitively, and that's really what I'm getting. So everyone, and obviously there is a question about the van. Okay. Let's see if any pieces can come forward. There might be something on the red phone. Keep a lookout for shorts as well. And take care. I hope you have a lovely morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and stay blessed.